Guys, welcome back to Old Illuminator 11. I hope you're all doing well today and welcome if it is your first time checking out my channel. So for the past few days, I've been getting this message to talk about not taking things personally. And that's what we're going to do in this video, Spiritual Nuggets. It's about not taking things personally. And this video is for everyone, and I will be making references to the twin flame journey as well, because most of the viewers on the channel are twin flames. But this is actually a video for everyone, when it comes to walking your path. And taking things personally is something that I used to do a lot, especially before my awakening. I used to just take almost everything personally. And when you take things personally, it's like, examples of that are when someone insults you in some way. Maybe they say something about the way that you look, the way that you're dressed, or they say something about the way that you're doing certain things. Also, there's insulting you. They can be offensive towards you in some way, or they can say something about you to other people. Whatever it is that you see that someone else is doing to you, and you take that personally. When it comes to the twin flame journey, as a divine feminine, can be when your divine masculine walks away, or when they block you, when they don't speak to you, and you start to take all that personally. And what the vision that I'm sort of getting in my mind is like when you have like two kids playing, for example. Let's think about like children, when you are at a young age, or when you were at a young age, and there's these two kids playing with their toys, and they, one child takes the toy that belongs to the other child, and then the other child, the only way that they can try and take it back, but it's taken, and all they do is cry. So this child is crying because this has been done to them by the other child who's taken their toy. Or it can be in a situation whereby someone does, or their sibling does something to them, and they go and they lock themselves up in their room because they're angry, and that other sibling or whoever has done something to them. So it's something that hurts them because it's been done to them. And and as a child, you probably did that in all sorts of different ways. And as a child, this is their own way of processing what is going on here. They cry, or they lock themselves up in the room. Different scenarios can happen, but this is their way of dealing with what this other child is doing to them. And and for them, because they are still young, they can't really sort of see things in a different perspective. They just see that this child has taken my toy. The way that they will respond or react is by crying, by feeling hurt, because this has been done to them. And so as the child grows, or as you grow, this has been happening. It's that sort of thing of, this person's done something to me. And and it is what results in all of us growing up to be in a place of taking things personally, because we have this knowledge of that person out there is doing something to me. But then the difference is, the child, when you were a child, or when this child was there, they didn't know how else to process the information of what's going on there. That all they did was to actually run away, or to cry, because they are feeling the hurt of what that other child has done. And as you grow up, they start to deal with other different situations and scenarios. And, you get into a relationship, they leave you, you get hurt, someone says something, you're in school, high school, all these things, and it is always about seeing what that other person's doing and taking it personally. How could they do that to me? When you take something personally, it's like, that feeling of hurt. You may get angry, you may just not say anything, but there's that hurt feeling that happens inside you, or you may be in a place of, reacting and insulting back, or whatever it is that you do, but it's what goes on inside you, where you feel that has been done to you by the other person. So it hurts you because you feel that the other person is doing something to you. And then even in adult life, you do that, and you meet your divine masculine, and then they leave, and all these things happen. They say certain things to you, and there's all this pain and this hurt. How could they do that to me? So there's all this sort of like seeing that person has done this to me and is hurting you. and you're taking it personally because it's what that other person is actually doing. But what you don't actually realize and see is that for that person to turn around and do whatever it is that they do, whether it's saying something about you, whether it is, talking about you behind your back, or saying something to you in your face, or whatever it is because they are doing it for their own reasons. It could be a reason that maybe they didn't even think about the fact that this is meant to be offensive towards you, but you get offended, you get insulted by whatever it is that they would have said. They may have said it completely innocently, but the way that you take it, you get offended by it. Or it could be that they really actually meant to hurt you or say something insulting, but the reason why they are doing this is actually to do with them. The reason why, for example, when it comes to your journey with your divine masculine, the reason why they'll block you and not speak to you, which you don't understand why they're suddenly doing this, but the reason why they're doing that is because of what is going on with them. What is happening within them, and it's not actually about you. When you start to learn to understand that the reason why someone says or acts the way that they do is really because of them, of what is going on within them, not what is going on with you, then you learn to not take it personally. And and the difference between the child, or when you were a child, when your toy was taken and you cried because that other child has done that to you, is that right now you are more sort of an adult. You are an adult, you are more mature, and you are in this place now where you can think about things and see things from a different perspective. And as you're awakening into higher consciousness as well, you're starting to understand things on a deeper level, and you're starting to see that the reason why that person is acting the way that they actually do is because of what's going on with them, and not what is happening with me. When they insult you, it is because they may be hurting inside. They may have their own wounds inside. Maybe they're jealous of you. Maybe there is something that has happened in their day and they're taking it out on you. Maybe there is some wounding that is going on within them that is causing them to act that way. When it comes to your divine masculine, it's because they are in pain. Hurt people. They are in their own pain of things that have happened even in their childhood, things that they are running away from feeling within themselves, and because of that they will do that to you. But when you are in the place of seeing it all, and when they block you, or whether it's don't communicate, or they do whatever it is that they do, and you're taking it personally, then you are actually sort of, in a place where you're not seeing the fact that this is actually not about you. It is about them. It is what is going on with them in their own life right now. That is what is causing them to act the way that they do. It is not actually about you. When you turn things round and you start to understand that, now more in this place of maturity. And when I say maturity, or that you're an adult, I'm not talking about the age. You may say that, well, they're an adult as well. I'm not talking about age. I'm talking about maturity in the way that you understand things, in your emotional ability to take things in your understanding, and in your higher consciousness. That's the maturity that I am talking about. So you are in a place of being mature in that way, or you're an adult in that way, and you can now see that when they act the way that they do, when someone does that, sometimes I get phone calls when it comes to my work, phone calls from someone who's in a bad mood, and they just start going on and on, and you think, actually, hold on, these days what I do, I just let them carry on, and then finish the whole thing, and then I start laughing because I can just see that this is not about me. Whereas before, when that happened, I would want to try and prove myself. I would want to be like, what are you talking about, and all these things. because it was coming to me in a place of me taking it personally, the way that they're acting. And it is about you realizing that now you are in the place of being an adult when it comes to that, mature when it comes to that, and you can understand that the reason why that person is acting the way that they're acting, it's not about you, it is about them. And when you do that, then you get out of the place of taking it personally. However, if you are still feeling pain from whatever they've done, or you are feeling hurt from whatever they've done, then it's also showing you something that is going on with you, something that you may need to work on within yourself, because we're all constantly healing. And let's give the example of your divine masculine, for example. If you're still feeling the pain because of the things that they're doing or not doing, then and you're taking that personally, then there's a part of your ego that is getting hurt by that. Because when it comes to you as the person that you are okay. You are fine. But what gets hurt when you take things personally is the ego. So there's a part of your ego that you need to work on for yourself to actually realize that when it's me, I am okay. And that is my ego that is getting hurt. How can they do this to me? Why is this? There's that part of your ego that is bringing in that hurt. You yourself, as the divine being of love that you are, your higher self, you are okay. But it is the ego that gets hurt. So when you take things personally, it's the ego that gets into the place of being like, oh, how can they do that to me? Or, you may be in a place where you're like, I'm going to show them, what, or how can they do that to me? Or whatever, or you just get hurt and you don't say anything, but that hurt is actually coming onto your ego. So what I have been doing for myself is, when I sort of see myself starting to take something personally, and and I see this, especially when it comes to the twin flame journey, as something that is ongoing, something that you can work on healing, because something can happen with your divine masculine and you take it personally again. But what is important to realize is that when that happens, you, as in yourself, your higher self, you are okay. You are fine. What has got hurt is your ego that sort of thinks, how are they still doing this to me? Why are they, all these things? It's just the ego, but it's not the real you, because the ego is not truly you. It is like your lower self that says all these things, and that you're trying to integrate so that you can be your higher self. You can walk your path with your higher self. So what is actually hurting is not yourself. So the important thing for you to do is to actually see that, okay, this is just my ego, and and to be there for yourself. Don't beat yourself up and say, oh, I've taken this personally. Why is my ego doing this? It's actually seeing that there's a part of you that is needing that love from yourself. So be there to give yourself that love. Your higher self, to be like, actually, I am here for myself. This is not about me. This is about them. So you let it go. And the more you're giving yourself more of that love and recognizing this when it does happen, that is going to help you to get more into the place of not taking even more things personally. So that's just the message that was coming through. It's about realizing that it is not about you, it is about the other person. Like I said, hurt people. With your divine masculine, it could be pain from things that happened in their childhood, things that happened with their parents, things that they are not facing up to within themselves, things that they're running away from within themselves, when it comes to feelings and that. And because of that, whether it's abandonment issues or whatever it is, they sort of act the way that they do towards you, because they are not dealing with what's going on within them. And when you get that, rather than being like, why are they doing that to me, realize that it is a part of them that is hurting, that causes them to act that way. And when you do, you don't take it personally. And when you don't take things personally, you find so much peace. You find so much joy in your own life, because you can now see from that mature place that I was talking about, from the place of being the adult, that it is just the hurt other person that is acting that way. And one of the things that I've also really learned that is a powerful thing to do is to actually see yourself as an adult. You know, see yourself as the adult that is mature in the way that you see things, in your consciousness, in everything, you know, in the way that you deal with your emotions and all these things. You know, you see yourself as that adult, but you are dealing with children. So, you know, even if no matter what age they may be, whether it's your mom, your dad, your divine masculine, even if they're older, whatever, it's not about the age, or other people that you may be dealing with around you, your work colleagues. It's not about the actual age, but see yourself as the adult, and you're dealing with their a wounded inner child. So you see yourself as the adult, you see them as a child. Don't look at it like you're dealing with an adult, because when you do, then you really sort of get to a point where you start to take things even more personally. But see it as you are the adult, and you're dealing with their hurt inner child, you know, that doesn't know how to deal with their own feelings, or, you know, is running away from their own feelings. And that's why they are blocking you. That's why they're acting the way that they're acting, because they have all this pain within. When you start to see yourself as the adult and them as the child that is in this pain, then it will help you to actually turn things around and just see that, you know, this is not about you. This is about the pain that they're going through. This is about them. And when you do that, it will truly help to transform the way that you see things, and to not take things personally. So that's the message that was just really coming through. You know, it is never about you. And for you to find more inner peace, you need to work on the part of your ego that gets hurt when you take things personally, and tackle it every time it does happen. You know, because there will come a time where something will kind of hit you more, you know. So when it does happen, then do tackle it that way. It is your ego that's getting hurt, or, you know, having that pain, or thinking, why is this happening? Well, how could they do that to me? It's not actually you. And then also see the other person, whoever they are, whether it's someone who cuts you off in traffic or whatever, see them as having their own issue, their own wounding, their own whatever is going on with them. See that as their inner child that has not dealt with whatever those issues are, and they are doing this to you because of what is going on with them. So the message coming through today is that do not take it personally. It is not about you. You know, find your own inner peace, find your own joy in your life, and let it go. You know, laugh it off. Actually see it in your eyes. See them as a child that is going through all this. And also, you know, you can laugh it off, but you can also have that love and compassion by understanding that they are in this place of going through all these things, and they haven't dealt with what is going on within them. And that's why they are acting the way that they're acting. That's why they're insulting you. That's why they're being offensive. That's why they're doing what they're doing. And, you know, you have that love and compassion for them, because, you know, you are seeing that they are hurting. That's why they are doing that, to hurt you. So, you know, you can laugh it off and just let it go and be like, wow, you know, or you also have that love and compassion to understand that that is what is actually going on with them, you know. And where you need to put your boundaries, that you do that. But it is about you not taking it personally. It is about you finding your own joy and finding your own peace, and knowing that when someone's doing something to you, you know, unless you let your ego take over and be like, oh, you know, why are they doing all this to me? You know, you are okay. And all you have to do is to see it for what it really is. It's not about you. It is about them. So don't take it personally. I hope you have a great day, guys. I'll see you on the next video. Love, peace, positivity, and light.